Well, hello everybody. My name is 300 IQ Gaming, and today we're going to be going off of a little look inside of Aliens Fireteam Elite 2 and why it is launched in a state that is so confusing and just baffling. And it just kind of begs the question as to why this game wasn't a expansion, and let alone why wasn't an expansion. It's it's a $50 game. At least on Steam it is. It's $49.99. And if you want to get the 40th anniversary collection for Aliens, it is a full $70 game. Um, but not only that, just the gameplay and the technical state it's in. It's very, very baffling as to why um, the game is like this. So pretty much there was not a lot of reviews out I've seen for the game so far. So pretty much this is just me walking you through what the game is like, my first impressions. This isn't a full-blown review, but this is the first impressions of the game. I've played about 2 hours of it so far. Um, and I'll explain why I've only gotten to where I've gotten, and just a little bugs and just glitches that have been going on, which has just made no sense. But first, let's go into settings. I'd like to show you guys the PC settings of the game, what I'm pretty much doing. So graphics, you see I'm running at full screen. I'm running it at 1440p. And I have everything set to epic. I'm running this on a RTX 4080, and I'm running on a Ryzen 7800 X3D, and I'm running it at 32 gigs of RAM. So, not a supercomputer, nothing like a 5090 build or anything like that, but I would say a pretty, a higher tier build. So yes, everything is set to epic. Overall quality, texture, shadows, anti-aliasing, view distance, post-processing, effects, foliage, all set to epic. Ambient inclusion I turned off just because I don't like ambient inclusions. Screen space reflections are on. Chromatic aberrations on. There's no ray tracing features in the game, which I understand. A lot of games you don't need ray tracing features, especially when I feel like it's an online game. For me, if it's an online game, I want the most, FPS that I can get. And ray tracing, especially if you're moving so fast, there's so many enemies, you're not really, I think, sitting down and, oh man, look at this ray tracing or this or that. So for me, ray tracing not being in the game is not a huge issue. Motion blur turned off as always. Absolutely hate motion blur. NVIDIA DLSS is set to balanced, so I have that on. It is not specific saying if it is NVIDIA DLSS 4.5 or if it's DLSS 4. It's just NVIDIA DLSS, and it's the DLSS mode I have set to balance. I usually like to have it set to quality, but with some of the technical issues, you'll see exactly why I have it set to balance later on. Frame rate limit lock I have unlocked, and VSync why do I have that on? I guess it's on for the 240, but let's turn that off. Everything else here is about excuse me, normal. UI distortion, everything's pretty much set to normal for there. I have crossplay turned on so that other people can play. It is full crossplay with the other major consoles like PS5 and Series X and S. Controls, I haven't really gone to controls, but definitely more controls here than I've seen on the console. On the console, I know that you cannot change like anything. It's just like, oh, change your brightness when it comes to view. And so camera distance, hip fire distance, ADS, all that. Hip fire field of view. You can change this in the PC version. I don't know if you could change it in the console version, but I'm going to turn that up, which will probably create even more frame drops, but hey, I mean, it is what it is. And then aim down in sights, field of view. Probably do that there as well. That was a huge issue with the first game, was there was no FOV slider, even on the PC version, which was, kind of upsetting because the game was so held up on your back that it was just crazy. Okay, so that's about it for controls and options. In terms of other controls, you don't really have anything else crazier than that. You can rebind your keys, standard for pretty much any PC game. And yeah, that's about it for that. You could do your regular key binding, graphic settings. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention was no frame generation. If you guys like frame generation, sometimes I like frame generation depending on, what's going on in the game, how heavy it is, but no frame generation mention of it. And I don't know if they're going to add it. I know that frame generation was not in the first game, but that was because it's about, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago the first game came out. But no frame gen option here if that's what you're looking for. And I know that the game is recommending you need 16 gigabytes of RAM and I think a 3070 for that's 1080p 60. I think is what they recommended. So okay, let's get into Aliens Fireteam Elite 2. What is the story of Aliens Fireteam Elite 2? I do not really know. It's basically the game is very light on story, exactly like the first game. And basically what you've seen is that you're part of a new fire team and you've been detailed to but yes, you've been detailed to this planet where it seems that they've been attacked by xenomorphs, and pretty much you're going there, and there's some crew stranded, and pretty much you have to go and save them, at least in the first few missions. The bunker is kind of the same type of thing in the first game, where you have a couple different characters you can speak to. Like over here, you have your head, like captain-like character. Here's where you can select your missions if you want to. I mean, you could also select them as well from the menu. If you go here, you could just select missions as well. More characters you could talk to. And I'm guessing the more you rescue throughout the campaign, the more you'll be able to get added to the crew, the more you'll be able to unlock. Over here, yeah, it's like a stat center. Here's the armory where you could talk to this guy and pretty much upgrade your weapons, buy new weapons, and do stuff like that.
It's time to debrief, Marine.
The big problem with all these characters that you could talk to is they're all horribly annoying. And they have absolutely atrocious dialogue. Where we were talking about with this guy here, Raptor, who is pretty much the head. He's the captain of the airship that brings you down. He spouts off some of the worst dialogue just ever. It's just awful. It's just awful. So pretty much the game is every time you're here, you load up into here, and then you're pretty much you have these people you could talk to, and once you finish each mission, sometimes it requires you to go talk to these individuals so that you can continue on for the campaign. This is a bug right here. I've talked to Wrench multiple times and it keeps saying to go over here and talk to him for something, and I have no idea why. And as you see, the game will have tons of bugs. As you see here, there's some huge FPS drops where you go around. Some places like it'll be up to 170 and then it'll drop down to 130. And that's just in here. And it's been actually holding pretty decent in here, but wait until we get into the main game. But yeah, so as you see here, I've finished the prologue. And I've finished the first mission of the Rescue and Recovery chapter. And pretty much, it's the same thing as the first game where you'll have a combat rating that's recommended that you go into with. You'll go in, you'll pretty much fight with now 3 other people instead of just 2 in the first game where you had a group of 3. This is a group of 4, which I like. I think to me that should be pretty much the standard of any horde shooter is, 4 people playing together to fight against waves and waves of enemies. Uh, Here you have enable lucid challenge cards in the queued missions, so you can have different challenging cards and stuff like that. To me, it's set to either, just pretty much standard right now. Um, yeah, so pretty much I've been playing for 2 hours, but this game has an issue where I had somebody at the very end of this mission right here left the game and pretty much, and this was in like the very end, like we were already loading out. They DC'd from the match, and it didn't save the progress. And so I had to go back and play this mission again, which some of you'd be like, oh, go back and play a mission again. These missions are not 10-minute missions, 15-minute missions. These missions are pretty lengthy. The opening alone, I think, was well over half an hour to play through. So if somebody DCs or something and a bug happens and it doesn't save, then you have to go back and replay through this entire section again. Which, I mean, I have no problem with going back and playing stuff if it's fun, but if you're trying to get through a game and you're trying to build up your character and stuff like that, to just continuously have these bugs and glitches, or they just are very, very disheartening, I would say, if that's the best case word I can use it. It's just like, really, I have to go through this again. So I went through and I played through mission 2.1 again, and I beat it, and now I'm at mission 2.2, which we'll be loading into a second. When you go to this screen, you'll have your loadout, and you'll have a whole bunch of different classes here. Right now, I have the Marauder that I haven't tried out yet, but I wanted to because it comes with a pulse rifle and a smart gun. But what I played through first was the Duelist, which pretty much has two big primary weapons like this. So you have the Duelist, you have the Machinist, which is a guy who has deployable turrets and drones. Machines provide a Fireteam with extra firepower and point defense. They have access plasma weaponry, and best pretty much a Marauder. Pretty much excel at damaging and disrupting large groups of enemies. Pretty much almost like a pretty much just like a guy coming in just with your two heavies, and just pretty much I'm guessing this is like the DPS class, where you're just there to just unload just tons and tons of damage upon them. You have here the Hunter, which has a pulse rifle and a sniper, so I'm guessing kind of stays back a little bit, gets those headshots on them. But the Xenomorphs run so fast, I would only imagine to see how it is, using this sniper rifle, see how it is. And then there is the Medic, which, basically your regular medic class, that they can drop down these things, so, that like these, almost like these a little like pretty much like they drop down this like little like, god, this AoE, like this area of effect thing that they can start healing everybody, but it doesn't heal them back to full. It's only like a limited amount of health. People used to say it. And then here is Specialist, which is locked, which we'll be able to get if we unlock reach rank 2 or higher on any 2 kits. So that was the reason why I wanted to go to Marauder, so that we can see that. A lot of the stuff's customizable. You can go in here, you can do underbarrel, stuffs like that. Oh, my apologies. You can do like underbarrel. You can have your magazine. This has a advanced drum magazine, which changes stats. Some of the equipment that you can equip, it gives you better stats, but some of them can also give you some worse stats as well on it as well. So you just have to see what you like. So see here, this has -10 reload speed, but it has 30% magazine capacity and plus 12% max ammo. So see here, that actually would have way more. Let me try that then. That is a big ass drum on that gun. Jesus. But yeah, you're wondering why you never have 99 just like you do in the movies. But yeah. And then here, you have your signature slot, smart gun, and all these weapons you can customize with decals, colors and stuff like that. So yeah, you could customize it all if you want. I kind of like the default stuff, just me personally. You have signature slot, and then your sidearm. You have your pistol and stuff, and you can do a whole bunch of different types of customizations on this thing here. So, and then all the colors and decals as well. So there's a good bit amount of customization in the game, which which was in the first game. There's a good amount of customization as well, and they carried it over here. So here, there's a whole bunch. This is the manual, pretty much just with a whole bunch of stuff, like pretty much running you through the game. Regular, like, oh, this is how you do this. This is there. So if you ever want to refer back to that, they have weapons. Pretty much, these are like the different weapons in the game, like rifles, precisions, CQWs. You have handguns, you have heavy. Which, Jesus Christ, look how the plasma emitter, and then they have a minigun. Okay, so there's tons of different weapons in the game, as you see. There's attachments, there's items, there's challenge cards. I mean, there's just tons of stuff. There's tons of customization in the game, which is good, and they're good that they brought it over. You can go here's all appearance as well, see all that stuff. But that's pretty much it. Let's actually get into the game. How about that? So, it is well above my combat, setting, but we're gonna go to it anyway. So, let's see. Ready up. But you see everybody else here. Some people 805, some people lower, some people higher. So yeah, this is going to be going into the game, and this is where pretty much the brunt of the complaints have, because it is fun. The gameplay is fun from what the first game was. It's very much the first game, but I think that's where the issue is that the game is very much feels like the first game all over again. Right. Okay. So this first series here is like we're in a Wei-Yu, area. Okay. So as you see, the layout is pretty much exactly the same like the first game. You have your health, you have your weapons, you have your special abilities, your motion trackers in the bottom right, and pretty much you're just supposed to go through and complete these objectives and annihilate waves of xenomorphs. So we'll go through here. You'll see here the... Ooh, so see, we're fighting against synths right now. So I'm using a keyboard and mouse as well. I have not tried using controller. But yeah, so you'll fight synths as well. This is the third mission. We're already starting out on synths, which is quite sad, because it's like, oh, why not leave the Xenos, It's just something about alien games. It's just always obsessed with putting synths in these games. It just has to. But yeah, as you see, the game is actually holding up okay right now. But I don't know if it's because we're fighting the synths and there's not nearly as many of them on screen as there is the Xenos when we fight them. But yeah, so right now we're running it. It's about like 180 FPS, so usually you drop down. Shit, sometimes it will drop even so low. See, now it's dropping to 130s. And then I'll even drop some points into the, and sometimes we'll drop into the sub-hundreds when it's really bad. And so, which is very surprising, because playing some other Unreal Engine 5 games from earlier this year, like, we've had, what was it, No More Room in Hell that I just recently played. That game wasn't having huge performance issues like this game is, and that's an Unreal Engine 5 game. But, I mean, who knows? Who knows? have here the armor crates. I mean the weapon ammo crates where you can still do that. You'll have things here where you'll be able to find that to where you'll be able to have different stuff like that. So, oh, you healed me. Thank you. But yeah, sorry about my cough about that. Just feeling a little under the weather. But yeah, see here, so this is the part of the game where it turns into feels like almost Gears of War, where it's like, okay, a cover-based shooter, we're fighting these synths, and it's like, okay, we're still fighting these synths. It's like, where are the Xenos? Where are the Xenomorphs? I remember that was a huge thing in Aliens Colonial Marine Suit. See how we have the drop down right there? We have to drop down to about 100 something FPS. It's just huge stuttering and frame drops. Huge. Which begs the question is like, you guys had it run very well on the first Aliens Fireteam Elite, and then now you have pretty much a game that looks very similar, feels very similar, and plays very similar, and it just feels, you know, pretty unoptimized. I mean, the game looks good, like the shadows and everything, and the environments and all that, but I don't think the game looks great to the point where it warrants all these FPS drops. You know, this isn't a huge open world game like say a Crimson Desert where there's tons of towns and cities and stuff like that, and I was just playing that recently as well, and even that wasn't having huge FPS drops in the game. It was floating about the 140s, and sometimes it would drop into the high 120s, but it would drop most of the time if it got stuttery into the 130s, which is fine. I'll take a 10 to 20 FPS drop at most. But when I'm having FPS go up to the 140s, 50s, 160s, whatever it is, like see it'll drop up to the 170s, and then turn around and it'll just have a 30 plus FPS drop. You know, it's just like, what is going on? And I don't I don't foresee this game being very VRAM hungry. I mean, it says it's to play the game on high settings, it's 3070, which is a 8 gigabyte VRAM card if I remember. But I'm playing the game on Epic at 1440p, so maybe, who knows? Maybe it is very GPU hungry, maybe it's CPU hungry. But when I was checking my when I was checking the usage, my CPU wasn't being used as much, so I think it might be just a GPU problem, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so you'll pretty much go through here with your squad, and you definitely want a balanced squad. You definitely want somebody who's going to inflict a lot of damage. Like my class, you're definitely going to want a medic, you know, and you definitely want to have even a duelist, somebody with a shotgun, because the shotgun is very powerful, just like the first game where you oh, more synths. Gotta love the smart gun. But the duelist, you know, when you'll have a the close range shotgun, because when the Xenos come up, and they do come up really close and quick, you'll see here, this is as well. Like, see, I couldn't pressing F to do it, and it just wouldn't do it. Just little things like that, too, bugs where I've had it to where things just do not open for some reason. But yeah, it's just bugs and frame drops and save issues and it not being able to save the game that I had and having to replay missions, and it's just, it just calls into question when stuff like that happens. because oof. Because it's just like, okay, this isn't like a cutting the edge of, you know, technology game. So it just does beg the question, why is it having, you know, performance issues like that? Especially in a game that is so similar to the first. And so, to me, that is a huge issue right now, because that's why it's sitting at mixed on Steam. And I'm hoping this mission is just not all fighting synthetics. The third mission of the game in a game called Aliens Fireteam Elite. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, okay, cool, yeah, you can customize your character, stuff like that, you know, all that. But to me, this isn't like an RPG where I'm very much like, oh man, I care about customizing my character, what they look, and lore accurate and all that. To me, this is a just very fun, like, okay, just run around with your friends, shoot things, and enjoy being in the world and the license of, you know, the Aliens world. And so... oh, there we go. There's a Xenomorph, finally. Ooh. Down. Finally, some Xenomorphs. Usually just wait until I go completely down, because if they revive you, you will res at 100 health. So it's like, should I even use the health pack? Then after that, we'll have nothing, no more ammo. That's one thing about this game. I do feel like the ammo is way more scarce in this game than it was in there. All right. There we go. Pick me up. There we go. So see, you'll res back up to 100. Okay, so see, the crate lets me open it up there. So it's just weird. It's little things here and there that just make it weird, where it's like, why, wait, this isn't working, but last time it did, and then now it is, and so, it's just weird, so, okay. But yeah, so pretty much this is the gist of the gameplay. I'm almost out of ammo. Need ammunition. Well, only thing we have now is a pistol. Which is still pretty effective against normal Xenos. But as you see, there'll be different Xenos. There's bursters, and there's like big warriors that have like the James Cameron type, like, you know, skull, long skull like design that James Cameron has in his film. But yeah, this is pretty much the game, and you're gonna be doing this for, I don't know, I think however long the game is. I think there's 15 missions in total, 16. So say, you know, it's 30 minutes each, 40 minutes each. You know, let's say you play it for like 8 hours, 9 hours. But you're going to be going through, you know, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to do like the harder difficulty and stuff like that. But this is the crux of the game. It's very much Aliens Fireteam Elite 1. But it's more unoptimized. It's more buggy. But I will say, it seems like the enemy AI is a tad bit better, more responsive. And it seems like the environments as well are way more open and more outside, where first game felt very much more claustrophobic in its situations, which, you know, can work to, you know, an Aliens game benefit, but I think it also could be detrimental as well, because some of those environments got very much looking the same. See? But yeah, so there we go. Let's kill him. Anyways, we can.
I'm out. Reload. Next one. Gotta make it count. Down to my last here.
Piercing rounds. Okay. But yeah, there's basically add-ups, you know, and stuff like that that we have. It's all the same.
Sending it up.
But yeah, so it is gonna beg question: is this worth a $50 price tag?
Will do.
If you're someone who is a huge fan of the Aliens license, like I am, you know, I love both, you know, Alien and Aliens. Aliens is one of my favorite movie of all time. So, I mean, it's always fun to be in this world and, you know, play as a Marine. And, oh my gosh, they're coming out of the walls, man. They're coming out of the goddamn walls. So it is always fun to, you know, do stuff like that. But it is very much the same as the first game, and it is very much not building a ton upon tactics or depth that, you know, came from the first game, which I understand, you know. It's probably easier to just, you know, make a upscaled graphics and, you know, keep a lot of this stuff in, just make some new environments and completely rip everything away, especially when we know how expensive game development is now. And especially as, oh, there's a big guy. Where'd he go? Oh, oh. Oh. Okay. So see that we have the different alien combos and stuff, you know. Okay. Oh my god, another big one! Okay. Okay. Go past the little wave right there. But yeah, you'll pretty much continue going through the level. You'll do objectives. You'll get to points where you'll have to hunker down and face a even huge, you know, bigger waves of enemies, you know, while you wait for something. It's very much Left 4 Dead. It's very much Back 4 Blood. Very much of that type, you know. But this one, I feel like, gosh, I still cannot find any bullets. So maybe there'll be something. I don't know. But yeah, at least we're seeing something done with the Aliens franchise. You know, I know that they're doing an Alien Isolation 2, which, you know, more power for them. You know, I like, you know, survival horror games, but to me, I'm not a huge fan of that type of survival horror game. So, yeah, pretty much it's, incendiary rounds. But yeah, so pretty much I am not a, huge fan of that, so it's nice to see something being done with the Aliens franchise. Alright. Because as you see, you know, we've been playing for a minute. We're still going on with these missions, so... And I'm pretty sure if you all die, you have to start from the beginning of the mission. I'm sure. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, shoot. So as you'll see here, we'll have, like, these runners right there that will come jump on you. And right now we're playing on standard difficulty, and it doesn't seem like we're doing, you know, really bad at all. And I'm very well under leveled for this one. I think it was a mission level of like 700-800, and I'm 520. So... But it seems like maybe it'll be better on the intense difficulty. It seems like there's more difficulties now in this game than there is in the first one. Oh. Oh. So you gotta roll out of the way. There's a big old one right there. There we go. Oh god, it's a big bitch. Oh fuck. Reload. Watch out there.
Catching up. Down to my last here.
Okay. But yeah, it seems like the standard difficulty isn't excruciatingly, ass kicking, which I think is fine, but I think it's a little too underpowered, which is basically, you want to feel like, you're in the scene in Aliens, or they're just climbing all over. Oh my god, we got to get out of here, we got to do this, we got to do that. And even though they've added some more classes, it seems like it'd be nice to, rush. There we go. But it seems like it'd be nice if it, see how we're dropping more frame drops, like into the hundreds, which is crazy. I mean, I'm sorry, 1440p. Epic settings. At and with DLSS turned on and balanced, for it to drop down, I think into the hundreds. It's like it should at least be nowhere under 120, but that's just how it is. Okay, let's go down here.
Resupply or die, folks.
Alright.
Patching up.
Seems like maybe this might be towards the end of the mission here, where you'll do like a little
First aid here.
thing here. But you usually don't want to activate stuff like that until, you get towards the end of it.
Meds here.
Alright, people are setting up. And you see here some different things. There's piercing rounds, incendiary rounds, EMP grenade. For that, and I'm gonna put it there. So now we have that. So you have little things like that. So we have some piercing rounds, and then we have incendiary rounds. Sweet. Let me heal real quick. So yeah, seems like we are at the very end of the game. Of the mission, I should say. Alright, let's fucking go. But it does create that atmosphere of, aliens, and you being with a whole bunch of other guys, and just firing, and just killing Xenos and stuff, so it is fun. It's just, I'm hoping that, down the line, that they just patch those few little things, and hopefully they do it soon, because if you knew about the first game lost a good chunk of its player base, a month after. And just like, even within 2-3 months after, the player base is pretty much gone. Very, very small fraction. Which sucks, because I haven't played with the AI in this game, but I remember the first game, because I played the first game, I played a mission or two before trying this one, and the AI in that game, you don't play with other humans, you play with synthetics, basically. They're some of the most dumb, worst AI out there, so this game's gonna live or die, based on this player count. Which is fine to me, as long as I can get through the story, play through with some friends for a little bit, all that, hey, price tag, warranted, but definitely not in this state. The state just has too many bugs to forgive. Especially for a full $50 game, and especially for a $70, price tag for the 40th anniversary edition. There we go. So I just want to take all these guys out. It's so satisfying. There we go. But yeah, I would be lying and saying if I'm not having fun with the game. I would. Come on. have to get more ammo. Run! Run!
Tango down.
But yeah, I haven't tried this on a Steam Deck, my Steam Deck OLED, which I'm pretty sure is not going to run well or even be supported, even though the first game was supported. But I could try this on my Ally X, my Xbox Ally X, if you guys would like to see that. So we can see how the performance is there. Yeah, hopefully it gets better, and I'm hoping it doesn't take too long. Like, we're like, oh, we'll have a big patch out next month, and it's like, okay, that's great. The game's already lost half of its player base, so we'll see. Watch out, there's a spinner. Oh. Man. Oh, who's down? Oh, it's a big dude.